Alright, so tonight's lesson is lesson 116, and we are finding common denominators. So up here I kind of wrote what it looks like to have a common denominator, and then what it looks like to have different denominators. So here, common, I have 1/4 and 3/4. Okay, our bottom, the denominator, it tells us how many pieces it's out of. We have the same number, but not all the time will that happen. So look at different denominators. I have 1/2 and 1/4. You cannot add those together. You cannot subtract those. You cannot compare those. You could multiply them, but when we're adding, we can't add a half of a pie to a pie that's cut into a fourth. That just doesn't work right. In order to add and subtract, we're going to have to make sure that they have the same denominator. So how we do that, what you're going to do to compare, add, or subtract fractions that have different denominators, we first change the name of one or more of the fractions so that they have the common denominators. By that, if I have 1/2 and 1/4, I'm either changing 1/4 and changing my bottom number into a 2 or my 2 into a 4, so they have to be the same. Most of the time they're going to get a little bit, the denominator will get a little bit bigger. So in order to do that, the least common multiple, or the LCM from lesson 112, is how you're going to do it. So for example, the denominators of 1/2 and 1/4 are 2 and 4. So we're going to do 1/2 and 1/4. We're going to make these into common denominators. So the LCM of 2, okay, so if we were to write 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 4. Okay, you can keep going. I'm going to do the LCM of 4, or the multiples of 4. 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. Well, look, we already have a match. 4 and 4. So we find the LCM, okay, the least common multiple, which happens to be 4, which we've done. If you forget how to do it, go check 112. Okay, so now the LCM of 2 and 4 is 4. So the least common denominator for a 2 and a 4 is a 4. Okay, so we're going to make both denominators a 4. So what I have to do is I have to say, okay, if I have 1/2 and I have to change it, we can leave 1/4 1/4. Let's say we were adding these. I can leave 1/4 the same because it already has a 4 as my denominator. But 1/2, I have to make the bottom equal to a 4. 2 times what gives me 4? 2. So if I do the bottom by 2, I have to do the top by 2. 2 times 1? 2. Now I have fractions that I can add and subtract with. We have the same denominator, the same. So you add those together, 2 plus 1 is 3, so my answer would be 3/4. Okay, so now it works. So yeah, this is something that we're going to be practicing a lot. It takes a lot of practice to find common denominators. Okay, a recipe calls for 3/4 cup of an onion and a 7/8 cup of tomatoes. Will there be more onion or tomatoes in the salsa recipe? Okay, so we're comparing. So what we have to do in order to compare our fractions, we have to make sure we have the same denominator. Okay, for that to happen, then we can really see, okay, well 7/8 is bigger than, let's say, 3/8. But right now we're not really sure if 3/4 or 7/8 is bigger. Okay, so what we have to do is find a common denominator. So we need to see our LCM. You can use your least common multiple to help you. So we have 4. Let's see, 4 times 1, 4, 4 times 2, 8, which I already know if I do an 8, 8 times 1 is 8. It's going to be our match. So our denominator is going to be an 8 when we're doing this. So 7/8 can stay the same. I'll write that over here. But we have to change 3/4 equal to a bottom, or denominator of 8. 4 times what gives me 8? A 2. 3 times 2 is 6. So now we have 6/8 and 7/8. Which one is bigger? Now it's very easy to tell. Obviously 7 is going to be bigger than 6. I'm going to go like this. So will there be more onions or tomatoes? And the answer is 7/8 cup of tomatoes. Tomatoes would be our answer, because we can see that 7/8 is bigger than 6/8. Alright, try the next one by yourself. See if you can pause the video and do it. We have 1/2 plus 1/4. So turn them into a common denominator and then add them. Okay, so I'm going to do it. So you have to find the least common multiple. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. I'm probably going to stop there because if I look, 4 times 1 is 4. Alright, my denominator is going to be 4. So I'm going to rewrite this. But I need to change 1/2 first. So 1/2, if I have to change this. Alright, so 1/2. Okay, and it has to equal a denominator of 4. So 2 times what gives me 4? 2. Do the top by 2. 2 times 1 is 2. So now I can add these. Add the tops. 2 plus 1 is 3. And my denominator is 4. So my answer is 3/4. Awesome. Alright, try the next one. We have 2 more left. Subtract 3 1/2 from 1 1/6. Okay, so we're going to be changing our denominator. Most of the time, like I said before, it's going to actually be the bigger number. Sometimes it won't, and that is when it gets a little bit difficult. But I can tell you right now that our denominators are both going to be 6. I can do this right here really fast for you though. 2 LCM, 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. And if I have a 6, 6 times 1 is 6. So we know that our denominator is going to be 6. So I'm going to come over here. Now I do not change the whole number at all. I don't even touch it because that is already saying that we have 3 as a whole number. So we're really just changing that denominator. So what I'm going to do is I need to change, I can leave my 1/6 the same, but I need to change my 3 1/2. So 3 1/2, and I need to get that 1/2 equal to a denominator, I'm going to put my 3 there already, of 6. So 2 times what gives me 6? 2 times 3, so do the top by 3. 3 times 1 is 3. So now I have 3 3/6 minus 1 1/6, and this becomes very easy. 3 minus 1, a whole 2. 3 minus 1, 2 over 6, which is equal to 2. If I reduce this, divide the top by 2, 1, and the bottom by 2, 3. 2 1/3. Okay, if I did this a little too fast for you, try to rewind the video and watch it again to see it. We'll also be doing these on the whiteboard tomorrow and really practicing them. Okay, so we're going to do the last one now. Add 1/3 and 1/2. Now, like I said before, sometimes the bigger number becomes our denominator. This is an example where that does not happen. I'm not going to make my 2 a 3 because there's not a number that I can multiply by to get there. So I'm really going to actually have to find the LCM first. So I'm going to do 3. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 4, 12. We'll stop there. And I'll do 2. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3, 6. Okay. I know my denominator is going to be 6. Okay, so I need to put 1/3 is equal to, with a denominator of 6. 3 times what gives me 6? 2. Top by 2. 2 times 1, 2. Okay, we're good there. And I'm going to do my next number, 1/2, equal to the denominator of 6. 2 times what gives me 6? 3. So the top has to be by 3, 2. 3 times 1, 3. So now I'm adding 2/6 plus 3/6. I'm going to put that over here. 2/6 plus 3/6. 6 is always my bottom. I do not change what I'm adding, just change the amount of pieces I have. 3 plus 2, 5. So my answer is 5/6. Remember, when we add, when we subtract, when we compare, we can only do them if they have common denominators, if they have the same number at the bottom. If they don't, we cannot do it. Go ahead and circle on your notebook the word denominators at the top so I can give you a bonus point tomorrow when I check your notebook. And here's your lesson practice.